Welcome to the channel. I'm at the UK launch of the Ford Capri all-electric car. This is not the new Ford Capri. This is the original version, and it is an iconic car, especially here in the UK, but around the world. And it's been missing for a long, long time. And so now there is a new version. So let's just have a quick look around this, and then let's compare it to what we can see on the new one, because it's interesting to see the differences and how maybe the design evolved or maybe it didn't. You decide for yourself. So first of all, let's start at the front. So at the front here, we've got our double lights here. And then as we move to the side here, I like this little sunroof, we've got this sort of C shape, actually very familiar. I think if you look at the Ford GT, you can see that on there. Also feels a bit Bugatti. Bugatti has a big C shape as well. This is a really, I love this bonnet here with the dome in it because it had a really powerful big engine, well, powerful at the time, but a large 3-litre engine. So it needed the space up here. Now the new one is an EV, obviously, so there are differences. So this is the new Ford Capri EV, and there are some things which are different, and there's things which look similar, like they might be from the same design line. So looking at the side, first of all, I just want to point out, I really like these wheels. I think they're very cool looking. They're very large size, to 21 inches at the front here. This has got this C-shaped design, which is very similar, like I mentioned, to the actual original Capri, and also you can see that in the Ford GT. I think that's a Ford design lineage which is coming down through the different car models.
Here in the UK, there will be two versions, both extended range, either standard or premium trims. And the current base version is a 284 horsepower single motor rear wheel drive with a 77 kilowatt hour battery and 390 miles of range, which is pretty good range. 0 to 62 is 6.4 seconds, which costs £48,075. There is also a quicker all-wheel drive version, which gets a pair of motors for 336 horsepower, 5.3 seconds, 0 to 62, and 368 miles of range. So it's a bit smaller on the range, but not that big a difference. That is, however, £4,000 more. There will also be a rear-wheel drive version with a smaller 52 kilowatt hour battery and a less powerful 168 horsepower motor that will start at £42,075. So a cheaper model is coming, but it will not be available on launch. The 77 kilowatt hour car gets 135 kilowatt max DC charging, 79 kilowatt hour version with 185 kilowatts. So the 10 to 80% will take 28 minutes, and they both get 11 kilowatts AC charging.
So here we are inside the new Ford Capri. We've got this squared off steering wheel with these holes in the middle of the bottom spoke, which is very cool. No doubt harking back to the original Capri. We've got this Bang & Olufsen sound system, like it looks like a bit like a sound bar up here, which has also got cool lighting on it. And then we've got our 14.5-inch center screen, which you can push up to get access to a lot of space down here to store stuff. I quite like that because the center of my car looks a bit messy. It's nice to have something to hide underneath here. The first car company I saw do that is Lucid in America, and it seems to have been something which other car companies started doing. We've got some volume controls down here, which are haptic, but they're in an obvious place. And then we've got our wireless charging and an extra holder for an extra phone there. And we've got a pretty deep center console. I mean, that is very deep. I mean, it's down to my elbow, so there's a lot of space down here. Overall, this is a very modern and interesting interior, which has a lot going on, very similar to the Ford Explorer, but it feels high quality. And if I'm honest with you, I mean, there's a bit of hard plastic here and here, which, you know, is like on my £60,000 Audi RS3, but overall, the interior materials and quality feel a step up. So Ford has done a really good job with that, and I'm very impressed with what I see inside the front of the new Capri. Now, the question you might ask yourself is this new Capri faithful to the original, faithful to what it stood for? Well, look, the answer is, as we move forward, as cars change, as technology improves, there are things which are going to change. And yes, it's not exactly the same kind of car. It's not a sporty coupe car. It's an electric car which has different features and has a different design. Although you can, I think, see that design lineage coming through from the lights at the front to the C shape at the back here. You can see that, but it's a different type of car, and it's taken the name. But for a new generation of people who drive that car, they're going to love their Ford Capri. And maybe it isn't exactly the same car mechanically or in terms of its design, ethos of what kind of car it is, but in terms of being a car that people will enjoy for a long time, I'm sure it's just like this Capri. and will be just as much loved by those who buy one. If you want to see similar cars like the new Capri, have a look here and here. Thanks for watching.